Hello and welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCTcentre, and also I'm true speaker, healer, energy worker, guide, mentor, co-creator, galactic ambassador from Pleiadians. And with me today is two wonderful, lovely ladies, Morganne Rayne, spiritual consultant, gratefully providing access to higher dimension of being. Morganne is called healer of healers as a way to describe her unique spiritual tools she shares. Morgan is here to serve those who seek greater understanding of their sacred spiritual self, have deep desire to integrate that consciousness in their 3D world. And with us today is Jeanne Reina, licensed psychotherapist in state of Washington, works primarily with early childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and emotional neglect, helping clients empower themselves. Jeanne sees herself as a lifetime student of growth. She continually takes classes to enhance her knowledge base. Hello, 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 my lovely two ladies. How are you doing this morning?
Hello. Very good.
Me too, doing good. Spent the morning looking for a cat, but I'm good. Cat has been found.
Great. Thank God for that. Cat is found. At least we all now settle in and start to share some knowledge, some wisdom, something what comes to us.
Yep. Hey, yesterday I went to the store and I got something that when I get it, it's like me getting, I don't know, like a treat for myself, right? It's a brand new notebook. There's something about getting a brand new notebook and your first page, right? It's like I fill up my notebooks. My notebooks contain my thoughts, my to-do list, my everything goes into one book, right? And I work in one book until the pages are gone. And I was thinking about this last night because I was going to write in it. I go, no, I'm going to wait till tomorrow and begin May 8th with a new thought, a new page. And it's symbolic for every day's a new day, right? Every day can be a new day unless we drag our stuff into it. We drag our past into it, and then it's not a new day anymore. It's the same old day we've had forever. So if you want a thrill of a lifetime, go get yourself a new notebook and begin to write in there your hopes, your dreams, your visions, your loves, your passions, uh, things you want to see materialize in your life. Start a new page. Start a new page. I love new notebooks. So that's how I'll start out this morning is clean slate.
Yeah. New notebooks are like new beginnings. Yeah.
Actually, if we talking about what Galactics is saying, that we really now starting this new beginning with completely new energies. Yeah, all we need to do is drop all old stuff, get like peaceful, get loving, be just surrender to everything what's coming your life. Doesn't matter what's coming, it is for our good. So surrender with everything, trust creator, which for me it's the most probably difficult to 100% give up this control of my life, which always been I'm in control, I'm pushing through, I'm good one, I can do it, I'm strong, yeah, something like that all the time. And now I just, okay, you have to rest. Remember to rest. Remember to look after yourself. Yeah, and it's so difficult. How you find it?
Well, I think you're right because we've had so many days of practice doing things in a certain way, right? So even for you saying more rest, right? Well, that seems like that would just kind of be a logical thing to do, but that's not actually true, for especially for people who believe they're human doings. Rest is almost like you're doing something wrong.
I don't know about you, but I all the time, if I even for 5 minutes sit down without doing something, yeah, I always been told that I am lazy.
Yeah, right?
If you sit down, you have to take like knitting or fixing some socks or whatever it is. Yeah, you have to do something. Then you can sit down.
Yep.
If you don't do anything, yeah, then you are just lazy.
Yep. Well, we we've talked about this.
Inside out, yeah, do something.
Right. Yeah. Don't just sit there and do something. Right. That was like, we probably all got that message when we were kids, right? Don't just sit there, do something. The value of just sitting there doing nothing is so remarkable, because what we do is we get into that we're doing something out of a fear, right? If I'm not doing something, what's going to happen, right? So we just kind of keep going and keep going, and we're trained from very young, especially if you heard that message, don't just sit there, do something. Stopping to rest, stopping to breathe, stopping to allow inspiration, stopping to just let the old patterning, dissolve. We don't have the freedom to do that when we've been programmed in that certain way. So we unravel the program and we decode what it is for us, right? So if that statement, don't just sit there, do something, is it's a complete falsity, because what it leads us into, look at what the programming is and the humans that was created out of that programming, right? A bunch of doaholics, a bunch of people that do, but they're fear driven behind it, because there's almost like a threat. Don't just sit there, do something, right? There's just like this impending threat, and it's always pushing us to do. And that fear of stopping is it's and that's where the universe shows up. It shows up with you trip and fall. you bump your head, and the universe has a beautiful way of helping you stop when it's giving you these beautiful clues all the way around where you could have chosen to stop. That's usually when we get the 2x4s, or and if we don't listen, then we get a Mack truck. If we don't listen, it's like we need to begin to really pay attention to, like when we're kids, if we stopped and we were doing nothing, we were just sitting there doing nothing, right? We're probably collecting our energy, pondering what's going on in our lives. And all of that stops when we have to get up and do something. So now as we're adults, and like Daga says, you sit down for a few minutes and then there's that impulse to get up and begin to do, right? That is the nugget right there, right? It's like, okay, and everyone should practice this. Stop during the day and sit and notice what happens. Just notice the energy. Don't do anything about it. Just notice the energy that starts happening, that impulse, like, oh, what's that? Where's that coming from? And then you can begin to, apply your curiosity to that impulse, not act on the impulse or react to the impulse. It is being observant of the impulse, questioning it, being curious about it, because the impulse is just this reaction phase that gets us moving, right? But what if we don't do that? What if we decide to examine? Has anyone here tried to do that? Just sit in the impulse?
I try, but I usually have this guilt. I have sort of my parents' voice, especially my mom's voice, in my head. Yeah, again, you're sitting down doing nothing. You are lazy. Yeah, stop being lazy. But I actually saw one mime on Facebook that was very interesting mime. That you are for so many years, all your life, you've been doers, yeah, human doers, but nobody telling you to actually now, when everything changes, when you're changing, you need same amount of time. Rewind everything back. You need rest. You need your body just need this calm, peace, rest, sleep, because all the time body being on height or flight, yeah,
Yep.
this mood, yeah.
Yep.
Now you need much more rest. You need much more me time. You need be, just be, trust and be.
Right. One of the things for me is Morganne knows this, that at a point after COVID, I was so busy with clients that I got really burned out, and so I didn't take any new clients. I wasn't taking on any new clients, and it gave me a chance to rest, and I noticed that I started having like expansive thoughts that I didn't have before. Like I was in tunnel vision, and I was like, I have to do this, I have to do that, and then the more expansive thoughts I had, the more it gave me imagination and the ability to dream again, and I thought it was. It gave me more new life. And I realized that my overwhelmness of life was very dysfunctional. And it's like how many of us live in the overwhelm that we have to do something. And one of the things is that when we do something, when we feel like we have to do something, even if we don't have anything to do in the moment, we'll pick up the phone and start scrolling or playing games or doing something. And it's like that's not helping us at all. It's the point of just being and sitting and just like looking at a sunset or just looking at a flower. It's those times that we get really creative in our thought process. I mean, we can be looking at a flower and it takes us into a thought process that we wouldn't have before, other than that. And so it's really extremely important to not fill up our time and to have the time to just be and just take in whatever's around us without any to-dos.
Yeah. And I love that you say take in, right? That's going within, right? That reactive state of, oh, I got to do, that's an external, right? It's a projecting your energy out into the world. We're being called to move within. And in the scriptures, Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is where?
Within.
It's inside of us.
Right. And think about the way our human being is. We don't think we're fully living unless we're external with everything that's going on. And that's not true.
Yeah. And not only that, we don't feel validated unless that external is saying, oh, you're okay, you're good. It's got to say that, right?
Right.
Or you're going to keep looking on the external to validate your worthiness. And that's really what it is, right? It's always that look looking for that external validation. The more we do, so your doing this equates your lack of worthiness,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
your true worth is not dependent on anything that you do.
Right.
It's about who you are.
Right.
The value of who you are as a sacred divine individual. And the only way you can do that is by going within. You can't know your true self unless you go within, unless you contemplate that flower, or you
Right.
go or you go sit with the tree and receive their beautiful frequency, right?
Right. And unless we can sit with ourselves and be completely comfortable with ourselves in that, it's like we're looking at out everything outside to make us comfortable. And it's like we lose ourselves, and that's, a cultural thing. Like our culture teaches us to be external, and we got to do this, we got to do that, and it's going, there's a reason why all of us are not, the society is not doing as well. The the world is not doing as well because we've lost ourselves by getting external.
Yep. Yep. And that's just going to feed back. That external realm is just going to feed back to you your consciousness, right?
Right.
So a lot of times we don't like what we're seeing out there in the world.
Right.
And that would be the optimum time to begin to go, well, I think I'll put the world away for a while and go bathe myself, shower myself, enrich myself, give to myself that love, right? Begin to strengthen and build yourself within, so that when you move into the world, you can project that into the world. Otherwise, the world's going to show you exactly what you've been thinking about the whole time, right?
Right. And one of the things is, when I was overwhelmed, I finally gave myself some time. It was like I was on vacation. Like I went on a vacation, to finally just drop the external world and just be with myself. It was truly a vacation. I dreamed, I dreamed awake, and and thought about possibilities, and how I'd like my life to be, or how I'd like something to play out, and just started thinking about things I hadn't thought about. And it's just so, it's about, I think I've mentioned the book before, but there's a book called Stolen Focus, and how all the external things are there to steal our focus. And it's, especially technology, stealing our focus, and I'm talking about television, phones, everything. And it's just so beautiful. The book is written so beautifully that it helped me to be able to sit and read a book in complete enjoyment. Like I was literally went on a vacation, and no matter what the book is, it's like sometimes we, when we get so caught up in all this technology, we lose our focus. And so people are reading a lot less. They don't have the attention span, and it's dumbing down our culture, because when we're scrolling on our phones, we feel like we're learning, but like we think we just learned something, but we don't have time to integrate it because the next thing's popping up and we're on that. And the great thing about reading a book is you automatically stop when you want to integrate it into your life. Like, how does that relate to my life? Like, it's not a conscious thought. You just do it. And you just, it expands the book and makes your life more relaxing, because you actually are learning something.
You're learning, you're able to step into that world, and
Right.
and in that way you expand your own world. Something else is possible.
Right.
Right. That's that. And come back to that. My most favorite thing to say is, well, what else is possible here? Right.
Right.
What else? Wow. You could be that. Oh, wow. And that's the beauty of reading, entering into other realms, other worlds. But the same is true of doing meditation.
Absolutely.
If you can begin to practice meditation, entering into that invisible realm, your visions will change, your imagination, like what you were saying, right? You were beginning to imagine something different. That's because you were going within, and it's only within is the expansion. The outside world is actually in contraction. If you think about this, it's something I used to teach my students a lot was first there's a thought, then there's a feeling, and then there's a result, right? All right, so result happens. So the result is that world that we live in, that tangible, touchable, blah, blah, But the thing is, once it's already created, it's over.
Right.
If we don't have the imagination and we don't have that creative input, because we're creators, right? We can either create the same stuff over and over and over again. And you can see that probably in the lives of your clients, right? They have the same thought, the same feelings, and they continually have the same results. It doesn't change. It's only with going within and turning your attention away from the world and away from your patterns and your beliefs that you can begin to have an expanded thought. Well, what else is possible then? What else could happen here? So thank you, Jeannie. That was brilliant. Thank you.
No, thank you.
What you thinking, Daga?
No, I just thinking about how hard you really have to work to let yourself stop, to let yourself trust, to let yourself rest. It sounds very easy, but it's actually when you start doing it, it's very difficult. For me, I at least find very difficult. Give this control of my life away, give all that away, and just be in this moment and do what comes to you. Like I learning from you, Morganne. Yeah, in the morning I just waking up. Yes, I know what I have to do, like in big things. Yeah, I have this amount of clients. That means I have to work with clients this amount. But rest of the day, I do not plan. I just go by my feeling. If I feel that after clients I need a nap, that means I need a nap. Or I need just sit down and meditate, that means I will do that. I'm not pushing myself. I have to do this, because I yesterday plan I will do this. Yeah. I just go by, okay, fine, I will do it tomorrow. Or I will do it next time when this feeling comes. But now what I need to do, and because I continuously getting from galactics and Pleiadians, I'm getting this stress more, relax more, stop stressing, yeah, all these things. So I really try to learn, let myself not feel guilty, because I do always feel guilt when I want to rest, when I want to be like in a quiet place and just be without doing.
Yeah, it's and whose voice is that saying we have to do something? I mean, think about children and the imagination of children, and they just love to stare at the clouds, lie on the grass and stare at the clouds. I mean, they take the time, and for us, as adults, we're human beings, and the thing about it is, I don't care how much you get done. There's always going to be a lot more that you have to get done. Like we're never going to get it done. You know, there's always going to be something. So it's if we don't take the time for us to just rest and be and you know, stare at a flower or sunset or something, you know, and just meditate on that. I mean, it's not going to come. It's like, it's not going to say, hey, stop, you know, do this for, you know, give us time. You know, it's the same with people. You know, I went out to dinner with girlfriends of mine, and we were talking about they were talking about where, you know, we just gotten there, settled down, and they started talking about trips they want to go on, and they want to do this and they want to do that, and I wasn't saying anything. I was just sitting there, and they said, Jeannie, what about you? What, you know, you were very quiet. And I said, well, you know, I'm just really enjoying being with you. You know, like I just really want to be with you. And I said, because when I go on that trip, I'm gonna think, oh, I'd like to be with them. You know, because really what we want to do is take in the moment of where we are and what we're doing, and really fully live it. You know, instead of, you know, living in the past or living in the future, you know, because the present is right here. And that's why it's such a gift.
Yep.
You know, and that's what taking time is all about. It's like being present to what's happening in the moment.
Yep. Yep. You know, when you were talking about kids, you know, I can't help but think about last week I was up at my granddaughter's. I was doing some work up there, and I'd had a piece of cardboard I was getting ready to recycle. And she asked, could I have that, Grandma? And go, sure. And her dad came up and said, Maya, that's garbage. Just put that in the recycle. And she looked at him and she says, Dad, everything has use. So she got the piece of cardboard, right? And she went inside her house and brought out her crayons, and she created the most amazing masks, right? So it's like in her head, she saw masks, she saw creation, her dad saw garbage, right? She had to set him straight. No, you're not seeing correctly, Dad. And then later, we all played with the masks. We had so much fun she had made two of them. You flip it around. One, you're a kitty cat. The other one, you're a bunny, right? And so we had the most splendid afternoon profiting off of her imagination, right? Laughing and giggling and all of that. When we see, we have a set way we look at things. If we could just set back again with the mind of a child, right, and look at it differently, you know, we can create fun and joy and all of that.
Yeah.
Unless you become as a little child, you cannot enter into the kingdom. Unless you become as a little child. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't mean become goo goo gaga irresponsible. It means what else is possible? They live in the realm of possibility all day long.
Right.
And I love that, you know, it's like a rock becomes a dinosaur, you know, when my son was little, a stick would become a gun, right? It's endless possibilities what can happen in the imagination, but in the real world, it's an isness as it already is, and we just accept the isness of it. But
Right.
It's not an expansive thing. It's already over and done. Now it's next. What else is possible?
Right. You know, and I just heard recently, there's this thing about, you know, decisions, making decisions. You know, we are like, oh, well, I have to make a decision, you know, and we're making decisions all the time, but we're not conscious of our decision. Like, is it expansive? or is it limiting? Is it constricting? You know, and it's like, be conscious about our decisions we're making. Like, you know, sometimes we have to do constricting things just for the sake of it. But how many times do we do constricting things because we're just not mindful about the choices that we have? We're not taking the time to be aware of the choices and the possibilities, you know, and so it's like, you know, for me, I'm starting to practice the decision making. Is it expansive? And if not, you know, what am I going to do then? You know, can I get into expansiveness, or do I just do it because it needs to be done? You know, and like, say, the laundry, you know, that needs to be done, but there's also a way you can look at it and appreciate that you have clothes, you know, that need cleaning. I mean, it's like, it's all the way. So that gets expansive. So like, you can always get into expansive even when you don't want to, or you don't know you can.
You know, my sweet neighbor upstairs, just love her. She is on a prescriptive timetable every day. Now she's almost 90 years old, but Mondays are laundry day. Thursdays are laundry day. Tuesday, I mean, it's like there's a purpose for every day. So the past Monday, not this one, but the one before that, she'd had a very busy Monday and she had not been feeling very well. So I go up, I go, "You okay?" And she goes, "I'm so tired." She goes, "But I have to get that laundry done." Man, you could just see she didn't want to do it, but she had a have to that was driving her out, even in her exhaustion, to get that done. And I go, "Well, what would happen if you didn't do it?" There was a long silence. She goes, "Well, then I guess I'd have to do it tomorrow." I go, and then I burst into song, "Tomorrow, tomorrow." she laughed with me, right? And she, in that question I asked, "Well, what would happen if you didn't do it?" Well, nothing would happen. But what was driving her that should? What's that piece that was driving her that she had to get that done? What were the pieces? And that's such a treasure trove right there. That little piece right there. What's driving me? What's pushing me? What's taking me out of the present moment? Right? What is that? And boy, I invite everybody to get real curious about that. That's going to tell you a whole lot about what's the underpinnings that's driving you, and then you're really at choice. Because remember when we do the crucifixion exercise, we don't just let go the thing itself, right? We don't just let that go. What's the most important thing that we're letting go is the need to do that. That's that thing that pushes us into. So say we want to give up, say we want to, I don't know, maybe we have an addiction in our life, right? So we want to change course on that. So we release the addiction, right? I release this addiction, but you got to release you got to release the need for the addiction, because it's the need that is driving you to the addiction. So that's the juicy part right there, is looking at what's the driver in this, what's driving you to react, what's keeping you from just taking a new breath and stay seated, right? When you've been called to just stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
examine what that is. And it's usually there's a voice behind it.
Right. And a lot of this stuff, you know, is so ingrained in us from early childhood, you know, that we don't even realize what's actually motivating us. And that's why it's so important to have the time, because we really get to be aware of what's driving us.
Yeah, and you know, I thought just, and this is a part about shifting us as humanity, right? Because humanity in a whole lot of ways has become a slave-based culture.
And people aren't aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're unaware that they are in slavery, right? They're totally unaware of it. And it can look like, oh, I can drive this fancy car, I can wear these cool clothes, blah, 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 but they have a credit card debt. And the reason they have all those things is because they have this thing called debt, right? So it's like they're not free. They're not creating from source. They're creating from an external drive in a slave system that keeps them enslaved. So it's interesting because I was gifted an RV, right? Well, I used to want to have an RV for a long time. I dreamt about that. That would be so fun, da, da, da. So this, you got to watch what you're manifesting here, right? Well, I didn't get it when I like wanted it, right? But it came around and I got this, and people are going, oh my God, you got this way cool RV. You know, how'd you, you know, how much did you pay for it? You know, all of that. And I go, oh, it was a gift from the universe. Right? And they go, well, that's a mighty expensive gift. It has nothing to do with a price tag on it, right? Mm-hmm. There was a desire at one point in my life, and here it comes around manifest, right? And then what do you do with that? Where do you go with that, right? You just, you know, I didn't have to go out and go get a loan. The universe provided that. Now, it was through a person, but that's how the universe works. We work together. We work together, and the universe provides everything. And it's always happened that way for me. Whatever I need, I ask God to show me how. Okay, all right. And when I'm like, I have exhausted my way. Anybody been here? Like, I do something my way. I keep pushing. It doesn't work. I go, this is called surrender, Dorothy. Surrender. Right? And then it's like, okay, I give it up. I don't know. I do not know what to do. Just show me what to do. And that's where a different way will come in. That way. Long time ago, I lived in a cul-de-sac, and we had a new family that moved into the cul-de-sac. I didn't know them. They had 3 little girls, and we'd had a dog that loved to run and chase with the kids. Well, one of those little girls was riding her bicycle, and the dog was doing what it always does, run and chase after the kids, but it terrified the little girl. And even though I talked to her mom, I go, oh, well, this dog's not going to hurt this, what the dog does, you know, but the girl got scared. And because of that, the father had called animal control and had my dog taken because his little girl got scared, and we were upset. My kids, oh my gosh, they were just devastated because this man had taken their dog, right? And the dog had done nothing incorrect, right? But it created this bad energy between me and that family. It was like, I didn't know, you know how that is when something happens, right? And it's like, then where do you go with that, right? And it stayed like that for a chunk of time, like months. And it was weighing so hard on me, so heavy on me to have that energy of non-love, mistrust, all that energy, right? And I could be righteous in what they did. They could be righteous in what they did, right? It's like we both had our opposing opinions, which were on the human level, right? And we could stay positional in our rightness. You took my dog, your dog scared my daughter. It's like we could stand in our positions and make each other wrong all day long. And I remember it was a Sunday. I was on my way back from church, and I go, I got to heal this. I go, I give this to you. I give this to you. I surrender it. I don't know what to do, but this energy is not working for any of us. So I pull it to our cul-de-sac, and there's the mom standing right out there in the middle of it all, right? So I parked and I walked up to her, and I just said, I'm so sorry. Will you please forgive me? And she's like, I'm so sorry. Will you please forgive me? And I said, I go, you had every right. You were afraid. Your daughter was afraid. And she said, you had every right. Your dog did not. It was like she was repeating back my truth. I was repeating her truth. And in the presence of it all, love was born, connection was born, a deep respect was born out of a trouble, right? Out of a trouble, something different happened. And that family, they've become lifetime, family friendships. But that's what happens when you can give up your position, your rightness, your righteousness, and surrender it. And God will give you an opportunity to make it right, make it whole, make it good. But you got to give up your position.
Okay, I think we are coming to our best part of the show. Meditation, Morganne, how are you looking at it?
I was thinking, just as I was saying, I opened up my daily, which I'd read earlier today. I think I'll start with this, and then see where Spirit wants to take us. So for May 8th, the concept today is peace. Attaining the real world is a long process. The real world isn't a place, even though we speak of it as though it were. It's a state of mind, a peace-filled, loving state of mind. We shouldn't be surprised that it eludes us. We have had extensive experience inhabiting the more conflicted, anxious state of mind. Our discomfort there has often been great, but always familiar. It's hard to leave the familiar. Part of our difficulty as newcomers to the course is in understanding how we can get from one state of mind to the other. Many of us are accustomed to thinking we can't change. Many of our acquaintances are as stuck as we are. Often, we assume that something monumental must occur for us to see our lives differently. Indeed, that might help, but fortunately, it's not necessary. Moving from one state of mind to the other happens in a flash. but we seldom reside in the real world long. The ego has such a strong hold on us. Wanting peace has to be more attractive to us than wanting power. Some days it is. And the affirmation for today is, I can experience a peace-filled world today. So let's just take that concept right there and breathe that in. I can experience a peace-filled world today. Take a breath in. And let that breath go, relaxing into your body. I can experience a peace-filled world today. And just feel into what would that feel like to experience a peace-filled world. And it may be helpful for you to discover what keeps you from feeling peace. Is it problems? Is it issues? Is it someone else? What keeps you from experiencing peace? And whatever those things are, just let them gurgle up. You want them to. What a beautiful concept. What keeps me from experiencing peace right now? Just let those things come up. And as they come up, just say thank you for showing yourself and let it go. I can experience a peace-filled world right now, today, in this moment. Breath in, breath out, and relax. Just sit in that concept of a peace-filled mind. And as you allow yourself to just open to the concept of peace, notice if there's anything that wants to take you out of that state. Be at peace. I am peace. My mind is at peace. My heart is at peace. Breath in. Let go of all anxiety, angst, issues. Breath out. Let it go. I am peace. My mind is at peace. And notice as you affirm that, anything else that is coming up to conflict that, any urges or temptations. How deep into peace can you go? I am peace. My body is at peace. And as you say that, just notice in your body if there's any angst or kinks or pain. If there is, take a breath into it and announce to that area, I am at peace. Breath out and relax. My body is at peace. My mind is at peace. My heart is at peace. Just sit in the peace with your breath and your awareness, your state of mind, expanding more into peace, giving yourself permission to choose peace rather than position. Choosing peace. Peace in your body. Peace in your mind. Peace in your external relationships. Peace in your finances. Peace. No angst, no worry, no confusion. Just that quiet inner knowing, all is well. I am aligned. I am at peace. All is given. I am at peace. Breath in. Breath out, relaxing deeper and deeper into that awareness of peace as your body, as your mind. And just check in where you are now as to where you were in the beginning in the meditation. Are you experiencing more peace in your body? This is the ideal place for bodies to heal, where there's peace, where there's the flow of energy. Today, I claim peace in my body. I claim peace in my mind and in my heart. I claim peace. And in all my business, I claim peace. I breathe. I relax. I open. I am at peace. All is well. Just take one final breath into that peace. Accepting peace, being willing to go deeper into peace, being willing to be guided into peaceful experiences. Today, I experience peace in my body, in my mind, in my world. I am at peace. And so it is.
Okay, thank you. Jeanne, do you have something to say?
Thank you. It's beautiful to be with you. And everyone listening, thank you for showing up.
Thank you for everybody who listening. Thank you for everybody who will be listening. Please don't forget check out rest of our shows. Please don't forget like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube and Rumble channels for us to be able to reach many more people. Have a great week and see you next week. God bless.